Hello, everyone. Welcome to your vinyasa practice. My name is Tessa. We're going to start out laying down on our mats, just flat on the back. I wouldn't say that you necessarily need any props today, but you're always welcome to have things like blankets for extra padding on the knees and blocks or a chair to make the arms a little bit longer. If you're grabbing any of those props, when you're ready, come back to your mat. Stretch your feet forward like you're taking a little Shavasana. Let your arms relax alongside your body. Wiggle your shoulders down your back, a slight tilt of your chin in towards your chest. And just take a few moments to arrive here into your body with intention, carving out this time and space for your practice. To be mindful of your breath, your body, its abilities, and its limitations. And maybe if it's there, if it's present for you today, offering a little gratitude that you're able to do this practice in whatever shape and form it looks like for you, that you have the time and the space, that you have the body. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, gentle seal of the lips. One more breath like that, in and out through the nose. An invitation to utilize the nasal breathing throughout your flow today to help tap into the nervous system, the central nervous system, in particular parasympathetic. But if at any point in time you need to open your mouth and let a breath of air out through the teeth or lips, that's welcome. Okay, so we'll start to bend our knees and plant our feet about hip width distance apart. Gently press into your feet, slightly lift the hips up and tuck the tailbone under, and then set your pelvis back down. So you have a little bit more length to the low back. We're going to do some dynamic movement here, dynamic bridge, and we'll add on to that. So press down into your feet, let your toes be relaxed, let your big toes stay in contact with the mat. As you inhale, lift the hips up and raise the arms up and overhead. Backs of the hands are resting above your head on the floor. And then as you're ready to exhale, arms come back, upper back, middle back, low back, and then the pelvis. So you reverse and curl the spine, the tailbone comes down last. I'll do that a few times before we add on. Inhale, arms up and overhead, pelvis lifts. Keep your feet relaxed, your big toes touching. Try to avoid rolling to the outer edges of the feet, so we're keeping the knees pointed forward. Exhale everything back to the mat. Remember, see if you can try to isolate that descent one vertebrae at a time. So keep it nice and slow. Can you even feel the hamstrings and glutes engaged as you do that? Inhale, lift up, arms, hips. Big stretch at the top through fingertips, front of the body, and exhale, lower. Okay, now we're going to add on, so listening for the change. As the tailbone comes back to the mat, we're going to stretch the arms straight up and forward, curling the chin in, lifting the shoulders, and see if you can rise up to a seat with your feet on the mat. And then once you get up to that seat, arms stretch overhead. So feet stay grounded the whole time if possible. And then as we exhale, we'll curl back down. We're going to put these two shapes together. Feet plant, hips lift, arms overhead. Back to your bridge. Exhale, slowly release. And as the tailbone releases, shoulders lift, arms stretch forward, and see if you can keep your feet grounded as you stretch the arms forward and up, arms overhead. And keeping the feet grounded is challenging. My feet slightly lift. So can you tap into that core strength to help the feet stay on the ground? Twice more. Inhale into your bridge. Exhale, slowly lower. Keeping those feet planted if possible, even if it's just a goal. Stretch the arms forward and up, lift the chest, stretch the arms overhead. And exhale all the way to your back. Pressing into your feet, arms stretch overhead. Last bridge here. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Stretch your fingertips forward, round your shoulders up, lift up. Pause here, breathe. And then exhale, slowly roll onto your back, one vertebrae at a time, if you can, so that the head, the back of the head comes down very last. And then this time, as you settle onto your back, if you've kind of scooted up off of your mat like I have, you can scoot back to the center of your mat and then hug your knees into your chest. So you can make this a tight grip. You can hug the knees in close. You can grab your opposite wrists or forearms or even opposite elbows if it's there. You rock a little side to side. And then maybe hands on the backs of the knees and rock the length of the spine, tip of the tailbone towards the back of the head, rocking and rolling forward, backward, about 4 to 5 times. So it can be a big rock, it can be a small rock. You could skip it all together and take child's pose. Next time you rock forward, can you cross your right ankle in front of your left? Come onto hands and knees. All right, so hands and knees. We're going to do a few scapular push-ups. So a little bit different than cat-cow. We're targeting the shoulder blades, thoracic spine. Instead of moving the low back, we're going to see if we can keep that relatively stationary. And so the inhale, can you just let your chest depress towards the mat? Feel your shoulder blades squeeze in towards one another. Neck stays neutral. And as you exhale, press the floor away, round the spine, curl your chin into your chest, feel your shoulder blades spread away from one another. So mobilizing the shoulder girdle, upper back, thoracic spine. See if you can keep that low back relatively out of this movement, isolating the upper back. Two more. Good. And then come back to a neutral spine. We're going to take just traditional cat-cow, but I'd like you, each time you move in and out of cat-cow, to change your arm position. So starting to warm up the wrist. Maybe your fingertips walk back towards your knees, so palms still down. Move through a round of cat-cow. And then the next time you move through a round of cat-cow, change your hand position, so maybe fingertips out wide. You don't have to do it in this order. Just want you to get a sense of forearm and wrist junction, how that's feeling today. And it's possible, maybe take one hand, back of the hand down, palm facing upward. You could do two hands at a time, but oftentimes that's really challenging if we have tight wrist. So maybe just try one hand at a time with that back of the hand resting, palm facing up. Change sides if you haven't already. Good. And so round out anything else. If you need one more round of cat-cow to do anything else, do it. And then palms flip forward. So palms down, fingertips forward. Walk your hands a whole handprint forward. Curl your toes under, lift your knees up. pause in your high plank, breathe in, reach your heel bones back, breathe out, reach the crown of the head forward, breathe in again. Can you feel that sensation of the scapula moving away from one another in this high plank? Now lift the hips up and back, find downward facing dog. You might rock the weight from heel to heel, sway the hips side to side. You can bend the knees right to left. Keep relaxing your head. Maybe even take the gaze back between the thighs or between the knees. Lengthening out through the back of the neck. In your down dog, widen your feet to the outer edges of the mat and maybe walk the feet forward one whole footprint or even two. So you have a short, wide down dog. Keep that, or reach your right hand to your outer left leg. You can grab the ankle, the calf, the outer foot. If you've got that right hand to outer left leg, you can bend the right elbow and maybe even look underneath the left armpit. Pull that left hip back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Switch sides. Right palm plants. Left hand reaches for the outer right leg. And so don't worry about, just wherever the grip is comfortable. It doesn't matter like if it's on the foot or ankle or calf. But then pull that right hip back in space so the hips are relatively even. Maybe bend that left elbow a little bit. Keep relaxing your head. You can even look underneath the right armpit. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Replant the left palm and then walk your hands back to meet your feet. So a little bit wide-legged forward fold. Take a few moments here, breathing in, breathing out. And then turn your toes out, heels slightly turn in, and bend your knees, sink your hips a little bit, halfway squat. So not quite Malasana, just like hips in line with knees, or maybe a little bit higher. You can bring your hands together at the heart, maybe start to lift up through the chest. And you get a sense of pressing down through your heel bones, a little bit of wiggle to the toes. So you might feel some sensation of stretch and also activating inner thigh muscles. Deep breath in here. Breath out, hands down, hips lift. Turn your toes forward, heel toe your feet till they're about underneath the hips. Uttanasana, forward fold. Fingertips to the shins, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Let your head be really heavy here, and we're going to reverse uncurl the spine one vertebrae at a time. So bend your knees. Start to feel the lower vertebrae stack, middle vertebrae. Then finally, shoulders, head, and ears stack on top. So we'll breathe in, stretch the arms up. Catch a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Hold your left wrist with your right hand and reach the body off to the right. Breathing into the left side body. So hands are reaching off to the right, pressing left ribs, left hip towards the left. Chest and hips squaring forward. Deep breath in here. Breath out, come back up through center. We're just going to switch out that grip. So left hand's grabbing the right wrist. And palms facing the ceiling. That right palm's facing the ceiling. Press down into both of your feet. Arch your body off to the left. Slightly tuck the tailbone so you're keeping the integrity of the low back and you're opening up through the lateral body, side body, right rib cage, right hip. One more breath in here. And breath out, come back through center. Hands to the heart, and just pause here for a moment. Root down through your feet, relax your shoulders, close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, blink the eyes open, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, we'll fold all the way in Uttanasana. Walk the hands forward into downward facing dog. And so find that what we would call, I guess, normal down dog. So maybe wiggle your feet back some, inch your fingertips forward some, a little bit longer and more narrow stance than we originally took. Let the head go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, shift forward, find that high plank. Pause. Find that scapular push-up. So press the floor away, spread the scapula away from one another. There's that slight round in the upper back. Deep breath in here. And then exhale, knees to the mat. Come all the way to the belly. Uncurl the toes, press down through the tops of the feet, the palms of the hands. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, tuck the chin in, let the forehead come back to the mat, and then let the chest and the shoulders relax. Inhale, halfway lift, low cobra. Exhale, tuck the chin in, release. One more time, keep those shoulders shrugged down the back as you lift up. Exhale, release. Press up to hands and knees, come back to tabletop. All right, so in your tabletop, extend your right leg back. Float the right foot off the mat, keep that right hip squaring down. And then bend the right knee. Can you move it forward towards the right tricep? It may or may not touch. See if you can. Touch the right knee to the right tricep. And then extend the leg back. So a couple times like that. Right knee bends. Move it forward towards the tricep. And then extend it back. Once more, inhale. Pull the knee forward. Tap if you can. Extend it back. Curl the right toes under, plant the ball mound of the right foot, and find high plank. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now again, with high plank option, pull the right knee forward, tap, and then back to high plank. Try that twice more. If you need to set that left knee down, you know you can do it. Inhale, pull the knee forward with or without that left knee supporting you. And then one more time, right knee forward. And this time, step the right foot forward outside of the right hand. So you're in a wide-legged low lunge. Let that left knee come to the mat. You need a little extra padding here underneath that left knee. Go ahead, slide it under. And now stand up, not stand up, but like lift your torso up so shoulders are stacked on top of your hip and your left knee. And then take this right foot back, take it back, in line with the left knee. Turn the right toes out to the right side, and then start to shift to the right. Shift to the right. Okay, so I'm gonna face you so you can see how this looks. You don't need to change anything. If you wanna see exactly what I'm doing, I'm just turning my right toes off to the right, bending the knee, and I'm not so worried about like, is my knee joint going over the ankle, over the toes? It's okay. That range of motion is great if you have it, and it's okay on the knee joint as long as it's not giving you any pain. Now we're gonna add one more thing here. We're gonna bring our palms down like you're in tabletop, but you're gonna keep shifting laterally, side to side. Notice if that changes the sensation. Now, one last thing, take your right hand to the inner right thigh, maybe a little pressure, and just see if you can open up the hip a little bit more. Last 3, 2, last 1. Good. Okay, from here, come back to your foot, your right foot, top of the mat into your low lunge. Step your left foot forward outside of your left hand. Find that squat, that halfway squat, top of the mat. It's not Malasana. We're working on building the strength and the elasticity in the inner thigh. So we're not sinking the hips all the way down. Take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Forward fold. Turn your toes forward. Heel toe your feet to about hip width distance apart. Now bend your knees, sink your hips, and find Uttanasana chair pose with the arms stretching forward. I'll scoot back so you can see me. Uttanasana, we're going to take the right arm underneath the left arm, eagle arms, or give yourself a hug. Eagle arms, or just hug your opposite shoulders. Either way, everyone sink a little bit lower into your chair, lift your elbows up, breathe in. Now as you exhale, round forward, knees kind of squeeze into the elbows. So my elbows are going in between my knees. I'm rounding forward, tucking my chin in. Big breath in. Big breath out. Keep your arms as they are. Come all the way back up to standing. Now unwind the arms, stretch the arms up towards the ceiling. Press into your right foot, lift your left knee. Standing single leg. We'll fly this left leg back, stretch the arms back, airplane pose. Just take a moment here to balance. Find your breath. If your right ankle feels wobbly, you are not alone. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Fingertips down to the floor. Left toe back of the mat. Right foot meets it, high plank. Option to move through vinyasa. So it could be chaturanga, up dog. Could be all the way to the belly for low cobra. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog or child's pose. Take about 3 breaths. So from wherever you are, we'll meet in tabletop. We'll do that all on the second side. That left leg is going to extend back. Toes float up, hip is pointing down at the mat. And then the left knee bends forward towards that left tricep. Maybe it connects, maybe it doesn't. Press the left leg back, lengthen out. And then as you pull the knee forward, you're kind of rounding the upper back. Remember those scapular push-ups? That same kind of activation here makes space for the knee to move forward. Twice more. Utilize your breath here. Left leg extends back, high plank, find it. High plank. Now, you know your options. You can set that right knee back to the mat for that support any point in time, but if you want to try it, left knee forward towards the tricep, back to high plank. Left knee forward, back to high plank, forward, step the left foot outside of the left hand. Set your right knee to the mat, and then maybe you pad that right knee with a blanket if you like. We're gonna stand up on our right knee, wiggle that left foot out to the left side so it's in line with the right knee. And again, I'll turn to face you. So left toes pointing same direction as knee, and you're moving laterally towards your left. Hands can sit on the hips if you like. So keeping the hips open, keeping the hips kind of squaring forward. Now we'll add on to this by placing the palms down and keep moving, shifting side to side. Notice if that changes the sensation for you. Now, one more thing, left hand to inner left thigh. Maybe you give it a little gentle pressure to open up the hip even more. Good. And then we're going to come back to the top of the mat, keeping that low lunge with your left foot forward, your right foot back. Left foot still forward, right foot back. You're going to step that right foot up and outside of the right hand and find that kind of halfway Malasana squat. Not quite Malasana, but we'll call it a low sumo squat. So I want you to feel the engagement of glutes, inner thighs, a little bit hamstrings. Lift your chest if you can, breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Bring your feet underneath your hips, point your toes forward, relax your head. Bend your knees, sink your hips, find that chair pose. And then left arm underneath right for eagle arms, or just giving yourself a hug, opposite shoulders. Eagle arms are just hugging your opposite shoulders. Whatever that looks like with the arms, inhale, lift the elbows up. And then as you exhale, round forward, curl the chin in, elbows nestle between the knees, and then you can squeeze with your inner knees. So keep that bend in the knees, belly to thighs. Keep your arms as they are. Inhale, stand all the way up, top of the mat. And then unwind the arms, lift up. Weight into that left foot, lift your right knee. Single leg standing. Stretch the arms back, start to fly the chest forward as you reach your right foot back, airplane pose. Just take a moment here to adjust that right hip down. Flex the right foot, so it's like you could stamp your foot on the back wall behind you if there is one. Just imagine that. And then fingertips down, right leg stretches back, find that low lunge, and then high plank. If you'd like a final vinyasa, now would be the time. If you are ready for child's pose, that's where we'll meet. And maybe in your child's pose, hands could come to the low back, knees could come together. You can lean the body forward, round the chin in, and let your forehead rest. And so in these last few moments in your child's pose, the invitation is to feel your heartbeat start to slow. So you might notice now it's maybe a little bit more rapid because of all the work we did standing and balancing and moving and squatting. I'll make a conscious effort to notice how it slows down when you find stillness. Take a little bit longer on the inhale and the exhale. And we'll start to uncurl the spine. Just come to a very brief seat on the heels, hands to the thighs. Inhale here. Maybe you close the eyes. Exhale here. So I'll invite you to either make your way onto your back for your final Shavasana, just 1 minute of silence to let everything integrate and settle. You could also take legs up the wall, or you could find a seated meditation if you prefer. Once you find your final resting place, relax your shoulders down your back. Lengthen out through the back of the neck, soften the throat. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale the air out. Let it go, let it rest here. Shavasana. Please feel free to stay longer, as long as you can afford in your stillness. You need to move on with your day, start to wiggle fingertips and toes. You can move your head side to side. Maybe stretch your arms overhead, breathe in through the length of the body. If you're on your back, you can bend your knees, roll off to a side, press through fetal position. Just take a moment to arrange yourself in an upright seat. Closing the eyes, hands, palms resting on top of the thighs. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Joining the hands together at the heart and bowing the chin into the chest, taking a moment to honor your effort and your practice. May we use the practice to serve our highest good. May we share it with those around us that we love and who could use healing. Together, we send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world that may be suffering. May they be happy. May they be free. Namaste, yogis. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your practice. I hope you're feeling good. Please take care of yourselves and come back again soon.